My beloved students, today I would like to give you a lesson on the theory of trial and error. Thorndike is the father of this theory. He first presented this theory in his very beautiful book, Animal Learning, published in America in 1898. His theory is seen best in his 3-volume treatise, Educational Psychology. He conducted many experiments on fish, chicks, rats, cats, dogs, monkeys, etc. This theory is really the fruit of all these theories. According to this theory, learning is largely a matter of trial and error. That means a learner learns through errors. Learning is a gradual affair, according to Thorndike. It's not sudden. It takes place because of the association between the stimulus and the response. He says, when there's a stimulus, there will be a response. As what he said, it's a gradual affair. It's a mechanical process, according to Thorndike. During the mechanical process of learning, the learner makes wrong responses, but by chance, he strikes the right one. See, he selects it because it helps him to reach his goal. In one of his experiments, he selects a cage called the puzzle box. This cage has got a door. It can be opened by pressing the lever inside it. He selects a hungry cat. He puts it in this cage. We know it's extremely hungry. It's very, very hungry. It wants to satisfy its hunger. In order to satisfy its hunger, there must be food. In this experiment, Thorndike places a piece of fish outside the cage near the door. Our poor cat is restless because of his hunger. It makes many attempts, futile, in vain. Why? Because the situation in which the cat has been placed is beyond his comprehension. Thorndike says, in this experiment, there's some sort of trial and error activity on the part of the cat. It makes many attempts, as I already said. It doesn't succeed. While trying again and again, accidentally, its paws fall on the lever inside the cage. What's the result? You know. If the paws fall on the lever, you know what will happen. The door gets opened. It goes out. It reaches the food. The piece of meat, I mean. It satisfies hunger by eating it. The same experiment is repeated. On every successive trial, the number of wrong responses and the time taken decrease. After enough practice, is able to open the door and reach the food, the piece of fish. In other words, now the cat has learned how to open the door and reach the food. If you examine this experiment, we can see many trials, many attempts on the part of the cat. But at last, it learns how to open the door and reach the food. Thorndike says, our poor cat follows the trial and error method of learning. In another experiment, the maze experiment, he selects a hungry rat. He places some food at the other end of the maze. The rat has to cross many blockages in order to reach the food, because the food is at the other end of the maze. It makes many attempts, wrong responses. It takes a lot of time. In order to cross each blockage, it takes a lot of time. At last, it reaches the other end of the maze and eats the food. Here too, Thorndike says there's some sort of trial and error activity on the part of the rat. Learning is not sudden, because here too there's a situation which is beyond the comprehension of the rat. The same experiment is conducted by using the same rat. Or on every successive trial, the number of wrong responses and the time taken decrease. At last, after enough practice, as in the previous experiment, the rat learns how to cross blockages very quickly and reach the food. Here, as in the previous case, Thorndike says learning is not irregular. Why? Because many trials, many attempts, in the beginning only wrong responses. At last, in these two experiments, the cat and the rat strike the right one, the right response. Because of this right response, they were able to reach the food. If we examine these two experiments, we can see the importance of motive, stimulus, response, and reward. What about these experiments? The cat and the rat are extremely hungry. Whatever their motive is to go out and reach the food. Their motive. That's why some sort of activity on their part. In order to do something, there must be motivation. Without motivation, we can do nothing. Two, as Thorndike says, if there's a stimulus, there must be some response. Why do the cat and the rat take a lot of time To reach the goal, I mean to reach the food, everything, the situation is beyond their comprehension. Because the situation is beyond their comprehension. They respond to many unnecessary stimuli. At last, they respond to the correct, the right stimulus. Then there is correct response. That means in this experiment we see many wrong responses, a race. The cat and the rat reach the food, reach the goal after enough practice. In the end, they learn how to reach the food. But their action is rewarded. What's the reward? They get the food. The cat and the rat get the food. And these four factors, motive, stimuli, responses, and reward, play a very important role in the learning process. Don't exist. Without motivation, there will be no learning at all. In order to have effective learning, there must be motivation. When there's motivation, what happens? The energies in the body are mobilized. The physical energy and the mental energy. In order to get them mobilized, there must be motivation. It's motivation which mobilizes the energies in the body. In other words, when we learn, there must be motivation. It plays a very important role. When we learn, we are expected to respond to correct stimuli. There must be correct responses on our part. Otherwise, there will be no learning at all. And what will be the reward? We understand many things. We comprehend many things. We can derive some sort of genuine pleasure from learning. Thus, we may conclude by saying motive, stimulus, response, and reward play a very important role in our learning process.